It was so corny. So corny. Yes. Can I help you? Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Take on Tuesday. This week we are going to be talking about the return of one of my most favorite guilty pleasure shows, and it's obviously one of your guys' guilty pleasures too, or maybe not a guilty pleasure, maybe a very open and proud pleasure, because this is one of my most popular videos on this channel, is my review slash reaction to the series The Bachelorette. So it is back, and I don't know anything about Becca. I did not watch Ari's season, so I mean I tried to, but I literally fell asleep. All I know is that Ari picked her, and then he dumped her on TV, and then he picked this other girl, Lauren, who seems really like quiet and shy and reserved and boring, but then again Ari is really quiet and shy and reserved and boring, so I think they're perfect for each other. In true Bachelor form, that's kind of the narrative that is going to be built around Becca this season, and we were very keenly and very quickly reminded of that right in the show's first 0.25 seconds.
This past year has been a roller coaster for me. I had the highs, I had the lows, I went through everything and then more. I mean, it still feels like a dream.
I choose you today, but I choose you every day from here on out. I love you so much.
I love you.
Becca, will you marry me?
Of course. Oh my god. I never expected anything to change. You're making me really nervous right now. What's that?
The more I hung out with you, the more I felt like I was losing the possibility of maybe reconciling things with Lauren.
So what? Do you want to be back with her?
I want to see if there's that possibility.
Are you kidding me?
Then we see Becca meet with the last three Bachelorettes: Caitlin Bristow, who will soon to be Caitlin Booth, hopefully. JoJo, I was gonna call her JoJo Rogers, but I don't know what her real name is. I just know that she's engaged to Jordan Rogers, so she will soon be JoJo Rogers. Rachel Lindsay, who is still with Brian, which goes against my prediction that I made in my Bachelorette review for her season.
I just don't think this is gonna last. I give them a year, because I don't think Rachel is one to, publicly fail.
I said that they were only going to last a year, and that he reminded me a lot of Josh Murray, and that I thought that they were going to break up. But you never know. Apparently, these Bachelorettes know what they're doing, because all three of them are still with their significant others, unlike the Bachelors. My predictions for Lauren and Ari, I don't know, because they are so boring as a couple that they might be perfect for each other, but they also are so boring as a couple that they might get bored of each other and break up. But I don't know. They have announced that they're getting married soon, so good for them. But back to Becca. Now it is the premiere episode that we are talking about, so of course we have those illustrious limousine entrances that we have to talk about. I'm just gonna point out the ones that were my favorites. Jean Blanc, I wanted to point him out. He looks exactly like Josiah. Did anybody else notice this? That he looks exactly like Josiah from Rachel's season? And I don't like Josiah, so therein I'm like automatically not liking Jean Blanc. And he kind of has like the same kind of like cheesy, like trying too hard vibe with his like connoisseur thing, and how he has like 1,800 bottles of cologne. Like, no one cares, Jean Blanc. No one cares. I mean, I would care. I love a man who smells good. I love a good cologne, don't get me wrong. But like, his package was just so corny that I was like, why they gotta do this to our brothers? But I mean, they can't make you into something you're not. So if he wants to play that character up, good for him. Also, his French was terrible. I'm fluent in French, and when he was saying whatever he was saying to her in French, his pronunciation was so bad that I was like, what on earth are you telling her?
I have a French name.
Okay, yes.
So naturally, I'd like to teach you a little bit of French.
Of course.
Faisons le pétan des shoes.
Faisons le petit push.
Des shoes.
Dishes.
Okay, we're gonna say it on three.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Faisons le pétan des shoes. Yeah.
Guys, that is actually pronounced faisons la putain de choses. Nothing like what he just said. And then when he said, oh, it means let's do the damn thing, I was like, oh, he was saying faisons something something shows. He was literally saying shoes. Shoes! Whatever. He cannot speak French. That was just like a line that like a producer probably gave him because his name is Jean Blanc. It was so corny. So corny. Yes. What was I saying before I was rudely interrupted? I don't know, something about Jean Blanc being corny. The next person that kind of really stood out to me was Garrett. Oh my gosh, Garrett with the minivan. Literally, like, pulled at every heartstring that I had. Like, when they both walked up to the car together and she picked up the soccer ball and she put it on her hip, I could just visualize them outside of the field and their little mini munchkins running towards the field and him being like, honey, don't forget your Gatorade. It was just like so, that was the smoothest move I've ever seen in the history of The Bachelorette. I have Garrett in my top 4 for sure. He's gonna go far. First guy out of the limo was Colton. Now, in the end package, we see a lot of Colton, but my first impressions when he walked out of the limo was that they're already gaslighting him. They gaslighted him in his package, like made him seem like a really likable, really perfect. He owns a non-profit charity. He was a former football player. He's hot. He has perfect teeth. He has a lot of muscle. He's really happy. At first, I thought that person that he was FaceTiming was his daughter, and I was like, ha, he has a flaw. Nope, it's his niece who has cystic fibrosis, I believe, is the charity that he supports, and then his niece has cystic fibrosis, and that's the reason why he supports this charity. He just sounds too good to be true at this point. Like, he's a little too perfect. So my little red flag radars go off where I'm like, okay, you're hot, you're charitable, you're hot, you're nice, you're caring, you're athletic, you're hot, you have perfect teeth, and we find out more about him in the package, which I will get to later. And it's just like, I'm just gonna keep an eye on him because I think he's gonna go far, but I don't know. He just doesn't seem 100% genuine. I see like a veil of this, hero. You know who he reminds me of? Kayla from Ben's season, and she also went on Bachelor in Paradise and had like a little thing with Jared. That is truly her personality, where like she really is like that, where she appears perfect all the time. But the reason that I think that she appears perfect all the time is because deep down, I think she's actually really insecure, and I think it's the same thing with Colton. But we will see what happens. But they always say that the first one out of the limo has like this good juju on them, and that they're gonna make it really far. So I think Colton will make it very far. On Rachel's season, Peter was the first one out of the limo, which I am still so sad about. I will reference my last video here.
Peter! Oh no! Rachel? Okay. I'm gonna speak right into the camera when I say this. Rachel, Peter is your husband.
On JoJo's season, I think Jordan was the first one out of the limo, which was a telltale. He also got the first impression rose. Caitlin's season, I also think Sean was the first one out of the limo, and he also got the first impression rose. So the first person out of the limo does have usually like some good juju on them. Camille, however the hell you pronounce his name. Ew.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, Becca, come here. Come here.
What's your name?
My name's Camille.
Camille.
I truly feel relationships, it's important for us to meet halfway.
50-50.
Yes, of course. Well, actually, how about 60-40?
Okay, so this way?
No, this way. Come on.
60-40?
No, 60-40.
I like 50-50.
Pleasure to meet you. I'll see you tonight.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Ew. Exhibit A.
60-40.
A little message to guys, the 1% of guys that are actually going to click on this video. Girls do not find cockiness and arrogance attractive. You may think that that is confident, but it is the biggest turnoff in the entire world. Confidence is quiet. Confidence is done with your actions. Confidence is not done with your words. The most insecure people do stuff like what Camille did, and he didn't even have the audacity to put on some goddamn dress shoes, okay? What turns girls on is not what Camille did. What turns girls on is what Garrett did, okay? Take some notes from Garrett. Anyways, so Jake, the guy that came out of the limo that she actually knew, she recognized him right away, and he had shady written all over him. He didn't even say where he knew her from. He just kind of like walked up to her, said hello, and then walked inside. Which, like, what? It seems like this is a theme now for the last couple of seasons, that they're throwing in somebody who actually knows the Bachelor or Bachelorette. I don't know. He seems a little shady.
What's going on? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing good.
Chris, the choir guy.
I got a rose, you got a rose. All I got, children got a rose. When I get to heaven, gonna carry my rose, gonna shout all over God's heaven. We already have a choir that can sing as I walk down the aisle. This is amazing.
He had quite the entrance, but the second he walked out of the limo, he had this little look on his face, like this little smirk on his face, and his occupation was sales manager or sales trainer or something. And I was like, as soon as I see that somebody is like a sales manager or a sales trainer, I don't trust it, because I have worked in marketing and business and sales for pretty much my entire career. And any guy that I've ever met in a sales job, they're very much like good at sales, and sales takes a lot of like listening to people and telling them what they want to hear and persuading them to your point of view based off of that information.
My name is Chris.
Chris.
And I know, looking back at your hometown date, that the only way to secure your heart is to win over your Uncle Gary's heart.
You're a smart man.
I brought some friends.
Okay.
That would help me out with that tonight.
Okay.
So are you ready?
Yes.
So they're very good with the opposite sex. So he came out all Rico Suave with the choir, and then he starts like, you know, creating a problem. Creating a problem is a big thing in sales. You always want to create a problem and then solve it. If you're trying to convince somebody to move from the current company that they're with to start using the product that you're trying to sell them, you have to create a problem with their current company, because if they're happy where they are, why are they going to leave? So he starts to create a problem to be solved. So the problem that he creates is that one of the other guys, can't remember his name, one of the other guys that were there, like one of the first guys that she met on after the final rose, he kind of like baited him out and was like, oh, like I know him, we're from the same hometown, we have mutual friends, and one of his exes texted me and said that he's not here for the right reasons. Night one, they're already starting with we're are not here for the right reasons story. I don't know how I feel about Chris. People who start drama are never chosen in the end, because he is kind of stirring the pot and he is kind of bringing up drama. I don't know, I just wouldn't have gone there. Becca just felt really uncomfortable and she didn't know what to do, and I would have felt really uncomfortable and not know what to do either, because it's night freaking one. I've talked to you for like 10, 15 minutes. I don't know anything about you, so I don't know how to gauge your character off of 5 minutes of interaction. So she kind of just like let it be and then moved on to Jake. Since I don't know if these people are here for the right reasons or not, let me just mull that over for a second and go to somebody who I know is not here for the right reasons. And she sent Jake home and he was like, but I just want to see where things go with the two of us. And then the second that she sent him home, he's like, I'm the most fucking romantic guy ever.
Ask anybody who knows me. I'm one of the most romantic people there is.
I died. I was like, that's not something that a romantic guy would do. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. One guy who I just did not like was Kristen Kristone. He basically goes to her and he's like, I'm a basketball player, but he just moves so shady, you know? Are those even his eyes or are those contacts? I don't know. I didn't like his little earrings. I just got bad vibes from him because he started, for lack of a better word, a dick wagging contest because he dunks on Becca. He's like, I play basketball, blah, 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 dunks on Becca, and all of the testosterone in the room went from here to here.
Just dunked on the Bachelorette. He just dunks right over Becca. And he splits his legs and like just slams the ball right into the hoop. And I'm like, who the hell is this guy?
And all the guys had to be like, oh, I could ball too. I could ball too. And then they all start playing basketball and like trying to like show off. And there's nothing I hate more than a dick wagging contest. Then we get the first impression rose. So JoJo was saying when they were all meeting together that every guy that they've given the first impression rose to has ended up being their final guy in the end. So that's a really, really, really big hint that one, women know what the F we're doing.
All of our first impression roses went to the guys that we are with now. And we all kissed our guy on the first night. So whoever she kisses tonight or gives the first impression rose, keep an eye on him.
Becca has given her first impression rose to Garrett. And so far, Garrett seems like a nice guy. His package was really weird. At first I thought he was really weird and like corny in his package and I didn't like him based off of his package. But the minivan won me over, and then during their like one-on-one time he was like normal and sweet and just talk to her about regular things, and they bond over their hometown and they have like interests and values. And I'm not a hunter, I'm not a fisher, I'm not down for those things, but like I would want those things too. Like I would want somebody to like be able to embrace the values and the pastimes that I find important, and I would love to be able to embrace theirs too. Like they may be different from each other, but as long as like you're enthusiastic about learning about those things and I'm enthusiastic about learning about those things about you, I think that's a great foundation for a relationship. And I just think they're so cute, and Garrett is my first pick right now. Then we had the rose ceremony. My Nigerian brother, I think his name is Lincoln, don't quote me on that, but my Nigerian brother got the first rose. It goes down to the very end. Like she picks a bunch of other guys who don't really matter right now, but she picks a bunch of other guys, and it gets down to the wire, and it's between Chris and the not there for the right reasons guy. We don't know how this is gonna pan out because it was never really resolved before. She just kind of left the conversation to go send Jake home. But I mean, Chris made an impression with that choir, I'm telling you, and he's not the one who's getting accused of not being there for the right reasons. The other guy is.
Chris R.
Chris, will you accept this rose?
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, I'm sorry. If you did not receive a rose, take a moment, say your goodbyes.
So she sent him home, and she also sent home Camille, the 60-40 guy. Camille made a comment.
I'm really embarrassed. Not even like a little bit, just really embarrassed. It's just sad, man. Like, lost to a chicken, man. Like, come on.
And all I have to say to that is, Camille, the chicken guy is a venture capitalist who is attractive with a sense of humor, and you couldn't find a pair of dress shoes. So, goodbye. Then we have the end package. Dun dun dun! We found out a lot of stuff in the end package. There's somebody throwing things, breaking things. There's somebody who goes to the hospital. There's somebody who gets in a fight with somebody. The model Zoolander guy who's totally into himself and is definitely the Corinne of this season is on a 2-on-1. And dun dun dun! Colton is a virgin.
You were worried about being intimate with Becca.
Yeah, I'm nervous as I was ashamed, and I made up lies because I am a virgin. I want you to know too, like, I'm not waiting for marriage. I'm waiting for the right person.
Colton comes to the table with a lot of fabricated. I'm not even sure that Colton's still a virgin. There's no way.
50% of me believes this in my theory that like he's just like Kayla, where like this is truly who he is, like this perfect person perfect person is truly who he is, or 50% of me believes that this is not truly who he is and he's just trying to be overly perfect for the show so he can have a good image and like go on to do great things with his nonprofit and use the Bachelor as a media platform like most people want to when they go on this show. And maybe it's gonna come out later that he's not actually a virgin, and maybe that's the reason that she's crying, and maybe that's the reason that she felt lied to, because he was so perfect but he actually lied. I don't know how to feel about this virgin thing, but that's the bomb that they dropped on us. So I will be continuing to watch. Don't know if I'm gonna make a bunch more of these episodes. We'll see. I'll probably fill you guys in on the finale again, as I usually do, or like the big moments. But the premiere episode delivered. It was entertaining. I liked it, and I would love to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. So make sure to put a comment down below. Let me know all of your thoughts about the episode. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers because you know times are hard here on YouTube. Give this video a thumbs up if you did like it, and if you want to see more content like this, make sure to let me know, and I will see you guys all next week with another video.
Most people know right away as soon as they see someone if they could date them. So I know I do. You know, my brain goes through this whole analysis thing. I don't have to see the face of a girl. I immediately know from her energy. It's pheromones. It's science.
So how you feel about Becca, your first impression then?
Becca's great. No, Becca she's got a better energy than I thought. She really, truly has a presence. I have a lot of love to give. And so my love sits on a little pot on top of the oven, and it goes, there's potential for that. I truly believe that. So.